In the heart of Abuja, where faith and family intertwine, Kelvin's story became a testament to the complexity of love. Kelvin, a 35-year-old devout Christian, lived a quiet and contented life in the bustling city. He was known for his calm demeanor, strong faith, and dedication to his job. But his peaceful bachelor life was increasingly disturbed by his parents' relentless pressure to get married. His mother frequently reminded him that his peers were already settled, married, and starting families. Every time he visited home, his bachelor status was a topic of concern. Though Kelvin trusted in God's timing, he couldn't deny the pressure that was building. Eventually, nagging doubts about whether he would find a wife who shared his values started creeping into his prayers. One Sunday after service, Kelvin met Oyin. She was everything he thought he wanted. A beautiful, charming woman who appeared to share his faith. What Kelvin didn't know was that Oyin had carefully disguised her true nature. She had heard about Kelvin's good reputation and knew that his age made him eager to settle down. For her, marrying Kelvin was a chance to escape people's judgment of her lifestyle. She had lived recklessly, moving from one relationship to another, and feared the whispers of those who knew her past. Marrying a respectable man like Kelvin would help her avoid the comments and disapproving looks. They talk about the sermon, exchanged numbers, and soon began seeing each other regularly. Oyin's play the part well. She attended church with him, participated in religious discussions, and even prayed in public. His parents, eager to see their son marry, were quickly won over by her charm. After only a few months of dating, Kelvin, eager to fulfill his parents' wishes, avoid any more pressure, proposed. Oyin accepted, and they were married in a quiet traditional ceremony. Their wedding was a grand affair, attended by family, friends, and the church community. Kelvin's parents were overjoyed, believing their son had finally found the right woman. But the illusion of happiness was short-lived. Not long after they were married, Oyin's true nature began to show. She neglected the home, leaving dishes unwashed, laundry undone, and the house in disarray. She had no intention of bearing children, citing that Kelvin's inability to satisfy her in bed was the cause. Kelvin started noticing that she spent more time outside the house, sometimes returning late at night with flimsy excuses. Kelvin had imagined a life of mutual respect and partnership, but instead, he found himself cleaning up after her. She often came home late without explanation, claiming she had been out with friends or running errands. This didn't sit right with Kelvin, but he convinced himself that he needed to give her time to adjust to married life. Things worsened when Oyin began to openly criticize Kelvin. She berated him for his shortcomings, especially his inability to meet her increasingly unrealistic demands. She accused him of not making enough money, of being dull, and of failing to satisfy her needs. Their intimacy suffered, and Kelvin found himself more alone in marriage than he had been as a bachelor. The tension extended beyond their home. Oyin, once so sweet to his parents, started insulting them. She accused them of meddling in their affairs, and on more than one occasion, she yelled at them in front of Kelvin. His mother, who had once adored Oyin, now avoided visiting, and his father kept quiet, though Kelvin could see the disappointment in his eyes. As the months passed, Kelvin began to question everything. Oyin's erratic behavior, her late night outs, and her coldness towards him had chipped away at the foundation of their relationship. One night, his worst fears were confirmed when he caught Oyin with another man. She busted it off, claiming they were just talking, but the evidence was undeniable, shattering whatever trust Kelvin had left. In a desperate bid, Oyin falsely declared she was pregnant with Kelvin's child. Kelvin was confused and heartbroken. He wanted to believe her, but something inside him told him that this too was a lie. As time went on, Oyin's continued infidelity became an open secret in the community. Church members began to talk, and even the pastor gently approached Kelvin, asking if everything was alright. The shame weighed heavily on him. The church became more involved as the marriage continued to deteriorate. The pastor and the elders of the church, having noticed the turmoil, called for several meetings to cancel both Kelvin and Oyin, hoping to save the union. Despite their efforts and Kelvin's willingness to attend, Oyin refused to show up. Each time the elders sought to mediate and bring both parties to reconciliation, Oyin made excuses or bluntly disregarded their attempts. It became clear to church leaders that her intentions were far from sincere. In the face of all this, Kelvin's heart began to suffer. He felt torn between the man he wanted to be, a good husband, a loyal son, and the reality of the destructive marriage he found himself in. He prayed, asking God for guidance. Slowly, the answer became clear. His marriage has been rushed, born out of a desire to please his parents rather than following God's will. The deception he was now trapped in was the consequence of ignoring the quiet whispers of doubt he had felt before proposing. His parents, too, began to see the toll this marriage has taken on him. With tears in their eyes, they admitted their mistake. "We wanted the best for you, Kelvin," his mother said one evening. "But we see now that we pushed you into something that wasn't right." His father nodded, offering a rare moment of vulnerability. They both encouraged Kelvin to do what he needed to do for his own peace. With a heavy heart, Kelvin sat Oyin down one evening and told her it was over. He had nothing left to give, though she tried to manipulate him, first with apologies, then with threats. But Kelvin stood firm. Oyin still insisted the child she carried was his. But deep down, Kelvin knew it wasn't true. His suspicions were confirmed when word got around that Oyin was still involved with the same man Kelvin had caught her with. It became clear to everyone, including the church community, that the real father of Oyin's child was not Kelvin. The divorce process was messy. Oyin demanded financial compensation. He has built on lies. But the truth, as it often does, eventually came to light, and Oyin had no choice but to let go. Once the divorce was finalized, Kelvin began to rebuild. The months that followed were filled with self-reflection. He threw himself into his work, his faith, and the process of healing. There were days when he felt the weight of regret. But he reminded himself that this experience had shaped him. He had learned the importance of patience, discernment, and waiting on God's timing. Kelvin no longer carried the burden of the regret for the rushed decision. He was finally at peace, ready for whatever the future held, and more determined than ever to let his faith, not societal expectations, guide him. Thank you for listening. I hope you find the story interesting. If you do, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can be notified for more interesting stories. Thank you. Love you.